Hi, this is Jack Wong from EmpowerRangers.net. I'm the instructor for Empower Rangers Forex Level 1 and Level 2 FX instructor. So first of all, I thank you for watching this video because I have no idea how you come to this video, but I know that what I'm going to share with you might be of your interest. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Well, how many of you have been wanting to make money from trading the FX market? And how many of you have been wanting to trade the FX market consistently? How many of you want to make money consistently from the FX market? So this is what I would like to share with you. And in fact, the key to success is not about learning all sorts of trading strategies. Because I've been to your shoes before. I have spent quite a good deal of money learning how to trade FX. I went to so many forums in order to find the golden formula. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And guess what? I've been making circle and circle and circle. I have gone nowhere until I sit down and reflect what the hell I'm doing for so many years. And finally, I come up with a very interesting approach, and that has been working for me. So I'd like to share with you this approach. Just an idea. I mean, at the end of the day, if the idea works for you, it fits your personality, test it out. But if it's not for you, you can just simply throw it away. That's fine with me. I always tell my participants, no hard feeling. Because if you and I are trading the same way, there will not be any Forex market to start with. But once you know how to handle the Forex market, you will then be able to trade different ways. You can consider trading the spot Forex market. You can also look at the Forex futures. How about Forex options? And finally, something quite new, I'm still learning, that's called Forex binary option. Or you may have a combination of these instruments. Are you getting excited? So let me share with you my screen. I would like to introduce my approach. And sit back, relax, and enjoy it. So in front of you is my screen. I'm going to share with you. Lots of people are using Meta4 Traders platform. So I'm also the same. When I first downloaded the platform, this is the chart in front of me. And I said, what the hell is this? Especially when you first learn how to trade Forex, I can tell you lots of the educators will throw in their favorite indicators and telling you in order to be successful, well, follow these rules. You have to have a MACD that shows positive. You must have a stochastic using the starting H33 or maybe whatever numbers you are looking at. That must tell you it had just come out of the oversold range. And then RSI has to be above 50 or else there's no trade. And I said, if this is the way to trade, why is it true that not everyone is making money? There must be something that allows the big institutions as well as the hedge funds to make the most money, and the 95% of the retail traders are losing money. So then I said, forget all these charts, forget all these indicators. Whether you choose to look at it on an hourly chart, 4-hourly chart, or for that matter, a daily chart, first of all, allow yourself to remove all these indicators. I'm not a proponent of using technical indicators to trade because I believe this. From my dealing with the big banks, what we call liquidity providers, they know how exactly we put the trade. They have our indicators. The sad thing is we do not have their indicators, so to speak. So Isn't it unfair then if we are using our technical indicators, the chances of losing money on our side would still be huge? So I said, no, that's not the way to trade. So I learned, first of all, remove the indicator. So in front of you is just a blank chart, a chart without any indicator. Instead, it is a candlestick chart, and I'm not even using candlestick pattern to tell you whether the pair, the foreign exchange pair right now is in uptrend or downtrend. You do not need that. What I would like you to do, first of all, is to remove all the technical indicators, as what I said, and start looking at the chart without any things on it, what we call naked chart. So that's the word for that. Let me write this down for you. I would like you to learn how to look at the chart naked, because you can see that the chart is coming down, boom, 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 is in a downtrend. And now there is a sign that this pair, which is euro dollar, is going to the upside, right? Do you need any technical indicators to tell you that the pair is now being in reverse mode? I don't think so. And here is another thing. If you look at the chart, you may not know how to read this. Of course, when you come to my program, I will be able to share with you how exactly we identified a couple of things. You must have EP, SL, and PT. You must have these three, which is what we call entry price, EP, stop loss, SL, and PT, profit target. So what we do in our program is to help you to find ways to identify the EP, SL, and PT. Without SL, you cannot trade Forex. I have learned so much about this horrible story when my friends put on their trades and they have all the money in their accounts wiped out, just because they said, I can use mental stop loss. If you have been using mental stop loss, please think twice. This is definitely not the ideal method to trade. And how many of you noticed that I'm using a daily chart? In fact, if you have a full-time job, especially you are in the Asian GMT plus 8 time zone, chances of you trading the Forex market on an intraday basis could be very tough, because by the time you come home, perhaps it will be around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. After your dinner and a shower, you probably had only 1 to 2 hours to do intraday trading. And that could be stressful, because your mind may be conscientiously looking for trades during those 2 hours. And sometimes because of this time pressure, you may force to do certain trades which may not have the setup that fit your criteria. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Now, another thing that I've noticed is that if the big banks and the liquidity providers are looking at daily charts, why don't we follow the same? And if the liquidity providers are looking at the weekly charts, why don't we learn the same? In other words, we are modeling them, modeling the way they trade, modeling their way of looking at the weekly chart and the daily chart. So my approach is kind of quite unique in Singapore, at least, because I have heard nobody talking about trading using daily charts. In fact, in my program, I am actually using daily charts to teach. And to some of you, you might have come to the decision that you are going to be the specialist of using only 3 pairs, which is euro dollar, pound dollar, or Aussie dollar. So let me speak English. Euro dollar versus US dollar, that's euro dollar. The second one is British pound versus US dollars, what we call pound dollar. The last one is Australian dollars versus US dollars, so we call Aussie dollar pair. So I have people who have come to the point that they are going to look at 3 pairs. And what happened is that they become these 3 pairs specialists. When I ask, do you look at other things? Then the response is, why should I? Why should I have to look for other pairs? Because here's the deal. The thing is that what if there are no trading opportunities of these 3 pairs? For example, let's look at a typical case for pound dollar, which you know over the last few weeks, it has been in a very tight range. So if you limit yourself to only trading these 3 pairs, chances is that if these 3 pairs are all in consolidation mode, you won't be able to trade at all. So it is not a very good idea from my perspective that you are looking at only 3 pairs. And in Singapore, I can tell you, nobody ever talk about the idea of trading crosses. So let me talk about what crosses are. Crosses can be things like euro yen, can be pound yen, so you have yen as the denominator. You could have things like euro Aussie, which is euro dollar versus Australian dollars, euro pound, euro Canadian dollars, so this is euro CAD. You could have even euro Kiwi. Kiwi means New Zealand dollars. So by using this approach of limiting yourself to 3 pairs, you could have missed a lot of opportunities. As I was recording this video on the 8th of April, there was a big news from the market last week. The big news from Japan was that the Bank of Japan had decided to double the size of bond purchase. As a result, yen depreciated significantly over 2 days. So if you know how to deal with this kind of pattern, you can take advantage of the yen crosses, and probably you could have made a lot of pips in just 2 days. If you are blindly looking at the technical, you may see that while this cross is actually going downtrend, and yet by looking at the chart purely from a technical analysis perspective, you will be killed because you are not aware of what's happening in the market. So that brings to me another important point. You are not, and I said it again, you are not going to be 100% technical trader. The reason is that if you are not aware of the Forex fundamentals, and I repeat, Forex fundamentals, you could be killed pretty easily, even though the technical chart tells you to go the other way. Okay, so how do I trade? First of all is I look at the calendar. So the place I go to is Forex Factory calendar. I will go to the previous week. I will do my review once a week, probably on Friday or Saturday. Usually on Saturday, that is when the market is closed. And I will go through the events of the week. And I then identify what is the current market driver of the Forex market. For example, last week, the driver is from United States. And more importantly, because of the US non-farm payroll and unemployment rate, the market was not pretty happy with the number. As a result, the hot money flew out from United States and apparently went back to the Europe and the UK. So what happened was that, euro-dollar pair went up. As I show you the chart, people ask, what happened to this chart? How come the euro-dollar pair went up quite fiercely over the last 2 days? probably, as you can tell, there's something called currency or hot money movement. Okay, so what I'm doing is I will identify the driver. I will also take a look of the upcoming week. What are the key news? What could have been the most important pieces that will affect the Forex market? And then the approach I've taken is, I call this fundamentally driven and technically executed. So let me write this down for you. Fundamentally driven, technically executed. So the good thing about this approach, executed, not executive, executed. Okay, so let me turn this to black color and make it a bigger size for you. So you can see what do I exactly talk about when it comes to fundamentally driven and technically executed. The thing is that I will decide based on the fundamental of the Forex market, which is the strongest currency to buy and which is the weakest currency to sell. I'll just simply look at the fundamentals to make that decision. In other words, suppose based on the fundamentals, I'm bullish in euro dollar, and therefore euro is a buy. And I'm bearish on Japanese yen, which means that is a sell. So if I long euro, short yen, that's my decision. And using the cross called euro yen, I should be going long. If you don't understand the logic, my course will explain to you in details how exactly work. But you can see that I do not, and I repeat, I do not need to look at the chart before I say I'm going to long euro dollar. That is my approach. I don't need to go to the chart like euro yen and decide is it in uptrend or downtrend. Before I look at the chart, I have already made that decision. Now that gives me a very easy task then. So if I decide this is a case I would long euro yen, which means I buy euro yen cross. Next thing I have to do is to look at the technical charts, to look at it from a technical perspective, to identify the entry price. Remember I talked about entry price, EP, and then stop loss and profit target. So the only time that I would spend on looking at the chart would be to identify the EP, the SL, and PT, and that's it. The next thing I do is I will go to my platform, key in the trade, okay, because this is a paper account, so don't worry. I can decide how many lots I will do. So suppose I do 1 mini lot, and again in my program I will explain to you how to decide the lots. How do you decide how many lots you are going to do? And then what you need to do is to key in your stop loss. Let's say my stop loss, I will just put it as 126. Of course, do not follow this. And then take profit is 128. And then what I need to do is just to look at the chart and identify the EP, the SL, and that is it. Okay. I think I need to key in the price at the right time. So I will just place I'll just place it at 1/3. This is 128. Okay, let me do 128. My profit target 129, and then here stop loss 127. So this is okay. So let me do a market order then. That's fine. So what I do is that I'll just key in the market order. You must know what to buy, and therefore press the buy button correctly, and then you can adjust your stop loss. Okay, so you can adjust your stop loss by going to the table here. Okay, so this is your table, and you can adjust your stop loss and also the profit target. Okay, so this is another way I do. So once you have put the trade, and you will just leave it as it is. You can shut down the screen, you can go away. When you make money, there could be a alert that sent to you say congratulations. If not, then what you need to do is to deal with the loss, because, come on man, losses are definitely part of this business. You can't say that you will be trading with 100% winning record. There's no way. So the way I trade is a systematic approach whereby I will go through the fundamentals to decide what currency to buy and what currency to sell. And I will go to the chart and decide the EP, the SL, and PT. And then the rest will just be money management and the state of mind, what also known as our trading psychology. And you can see that we do not complicate the things. Just like one seminar participant ever told me, he has been to 2 days seminars, spent lots of money and time to learn how to trade. After 6 years, he has not even put one single trade, because he has been looking at the rules and constantly look for better rules, what we call the Holy Grail, and more importantly, he could not accept losses to start with. And once you understand that in this business there will be losses, your life will be changed. Suddenly you will know, well, this kind of losses would just be a result of you managing your trade. So I would like to stop sharing the screen now. I come back to me. I would like to just explain to you that at the end of the day, you can trade Forex market differently. But what I would like you to think about is whether there is a simple way that allows you to be able to participate in the Forex market. You don't need to stare in front of the screen for whole day, because that is tiring. I have friends who are from Singapore make that decision. A full-time job is to be maintained plus full-time trader. So suddenly he has to work from 8 to 7, and then at night from 10 to 5 the next morning. So this is like around-the-clock events. I'm not going to appreciate that. I've been to that shoes before and can tell you how stressful it is. So come on, my friends. I would like you to understand that you can have a better life and a simple way of trading the Forex market. And the key is you have to practice, you have to have faith on the system, and that is how you get your confidence. Okay, so if you're watching this video from anywhere, I welcome you and I thank you for watching the video and spending some time with me. If you have any questions, please go to my website below, empowerrangers.net. is where you can ask me questions, or better still, check out my Empowered Rangers Forex offering. Perhaps it might benefit you. You never know, right? And once again, thanks for watching. I hope I'll see you again. And meanwhile, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.